Good morning, everybody. It's the Leprechauns, episode number 23. We're coming to you live from Leprechaun Studio here Sunday, August 20th, 2017. Really excited to be here this morning. We've got a really great show. We're going to have interviews with former Notre Dame running back Josh Anderson and also former offensive lineman for the 1988 National Championship team, Tim Grunhard. Really excited. Nate, want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Did you guys watch the Cowboys game last night? It was lit.
Yeah, the Cowboys game, obviously, we were all excited. Notre Dame Nation was excited to see the return of our boy, Jalen Smith. Jalen had, I think, a pretty impressive day with the first tackle there on the tight end. I think it was Ed Doyle came across the middle, and Jalen just lit him up. That was pretty cool to see. Looks like he's in rare mid-season form, really. Hey, George, looks like George's over at Notre Dame Stadium. Hey, kid, thanks for tuning in. Some of you guys, actually, a lot of our fan base today may be at Notre Dame Stadium. Today is the new and gold game, kind of a new spin on things this year to get everybody acclimated with the new stadium enhancements of the Crossroads project. So if you guys are out there at Notre Dame, you're lucky. We would love to be there. I know some of you guys are going to stay for watching Rudy tonight on the new Jumbotron, which is such a cool experience. So glad you guys get to be a part of that. In the meantime, we're going to have our show. Good morning, Lynch. Good morning, Mr. Hackett. We're excited. Shannon, you're on the field now. Awesome. If you guys are at Notre Dame right now and you want to send some pictures in here on the feed, we would really appreciate that.
Yes.
So anyways, getting back to the Cowboys game last night, Jalen Smith, Nate, what'd you think, buddy?
So it was pretty good. I felt like Jalen had a lot of opportunities and he executed. He's playing with probably one of the best linebackers in the league in Sean Lee. Mm-hmm. So he has some veteran leadership to take after.
I think for me, one of the most exciting things to see was just watching Jalen accelerate and blast off his feet. Just really looked very sound. Didn't show any hesitation from the injury that we all remember from a couple years ago. Definitely didn't look like a guy that hasn't played football in 2 years. So congrats to Jalen. We all love him. He's an amazing man, and I wish nothing but the best for him. Nate, so we're looking at the countdown clock right now, and we are just 13 days away, guys. Less than 2 weeks away
2 hours
from the start.
and 18 minutes.
So 13 days, 2 hours, 18 minutes away from the start of Notre Dame football. I cannot wait to be there and see the new stadium, see all the fam. It's going to be outstanding. We're going to pluck the Owls. I just can't wait to let everybody see the improvements. I just think there's a new aura about this team that's going to be really exciting to see when the season starts. So, yeah. Nate, you want to tell everybody, we did our countdown today, 13 days. We had Danny Spahn, one of our linebackers, a future quarterback for the Irish, Avery Davis. Can't even remember who the other person
Tyler?
Well, yeah, him too. Pat Eller, sorry. And then the other one that Nate wanted to give a shout out to.
So, like he just said, we're 13 days away. Today is also Tyler Luatua, former tight end. Thanks for always being so cool with us, and thank you for always being a fan favorite. And glad you'll still be graduating from the best college on the planet. And we'll know you'll be successful. Go Irish.
That's right. Tyler, unfortunately, had to retire due to medical reasons, but he's always been a fan of ours. We've always been a fan of his, and we just really wish him well. He's still getting an education from the best university in the history of the world in Notre Dame. He'll be graduating with that, so good job, Tyler, and let's get it going. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get our first caller on. He's coming on board. I wanted to remind you guys, we're going to try to post a YouTube link of this. But Josh Anderson, for those of you who don't remember, a couple of years ago, Josh was asked by Coach Kelly to come out and model the Shamrock Series uniforms they would be wearing against Boston College out in Boston at Fenway Park. And little to his knowledge, he came out and actually was awarded a scholarship for the Irish to play football. So it was a great moment. I always think back fondly of that. Had an opportunity to spend some time with Josh. He's an incredible young man, doing a lot of great things for this world, really, and he's really going to make an impact. So really happy for him, really excited to see what he's going to do in his future. So we're going to get Josh on the phone and talk to him for a little bit. You turn it up.
It's all the way up.
Hello?
Hey Josh, good morning. This is the Leprechauns. How are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for giving us some time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me.
So, are you in South Bend right now? Where are you at?
Actually, I'm still in South Bend right now. I'm just finishing up a few things. I recently graduated with my master's degree in science in global health.
Okay.
And I stayed a few weeks after to finish up a paper, so that it's pretty close to be ready to be published, which is kind of cool.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm actually moving back to Los Angeles on Wednesday.
Okay.
So a few more days here, and I'm back to the West Coast.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you did this past off season after the season was over. I know Tommy Nicotano, one of our mutual friends, had told me what you were doing, but can you give everybody like a little bit of a background on what you did this past summer?
Yeah, of course. So basically, the past year I've been in the global health program at the University of Notre Dame. It's a 1 year master's program, but it's extremely intensive. And throughout the entire year, I've been studying a neglected tropical disease by the name of leishmaniasis. And I've been studying both. There's kind of two separate forms of visceral leishmaniasis and cutaneous leishmaniasis. And I actually had the opportunity this summer to spend 7 weeks in Ethiopia doing research on the disease in a community or communities within the Amara region of Ethiopia, which was extremely interesting. I mean, it was the most life-changing trip of my life, and such an amazing opportunity. You know, I felt like Indiana Jones, to be honest, going out there, and I mean, the research I brought back, and I'm here right now because the paper I'm writing, these things can change people's lives. This is research information that could possibly help to alleviate so much suffering in Ethiopia, in communities where they really need help. So I kind of think that's important, and it's what I'm so passionate towards doing things as of that. So I mean, this program's kind of hit all my passions, and I got to play Notre Dame football for another year, as well as get this amazing opportunity to go to Ethiopia.
You kind of touched on something there, and first of all, thank you for what you're doing. I think it takes a lot to really put your comfort level aside and experience something like that. It can't be an easy thing to do, and some of the things you see, I'm sure, are life-changing. But, we over here in the States are complaining about, our football team's not doing good, or, oh, man, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, I have to go to work. What's it like going from Notre Dame, where you have all these things at your fingertips, to a country like Ethiopia and seeing just the despair and things that are going on there?
Wow, yeah, that's a great question. To be honest, at first it was very difficult. Even the simplest of things, or the simplest necessities that we have in the U.S., they don't technically have. The culture is extremely different. Most of the time you're eating with your hand. It's kind of just a culture shock altogether. And then along with that, it's extreme poverty. You're in areas of extreme poverty, and I was studying a neglected tropical disease. You read about it. It's extremely rare. Very few places on the planet still maintain this disease, but walking around these communities where I'd see it all the time, and I saw little kids suffering from cutaneous leishmaniasis, and I saw people in the clinic. I felt inflamed spleens of people dying from visceral leishmaniasis, and it puts everything in perspective.
Sure.
It's kind of hard actually coming back to adjust back to what I've grown up in and what we're used to, because you see this whole other part of the world. We're in America, we're a 300 and something million people that get to live like we do, but there's billions of people that really don't. So it kind of opened my eyes 100%, and it kind of made my aspirations for my future global. Everybody wants to save the world or do something that can help everybody, but I know we're only people. We can do as much as we can do. But I feel like if I can have some type of global effect in my future, then that would be great. That kind of help me feel at least like, doing something.
Love it. Cool. So going back to football, a lot of us remember you getting your scholarship and that amazing video that was taken that I think went viral on YouTube where Coach Kelly, and you can give the viewers here and listeners a little bit of a background on it, but what was that like? I mean, what were you expecting to happen at that moment? And then what went through your head as soon as Coach Kelly offered you the scholarship in front of your entire team?
Oh, man. So if people don't remember, it was, a few years ago, I dressed up. The equipment manager, Ryan Grooms, told me that, they wanted me to model the new Shamrock Series uniform because, they only had my size, whatever. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. So I walked out in the uniform. I kind of did my little walk. I was going in front of the team, so I had to do something. And then Coach Kelly told me, he kind of just said, take your helmet off, and then started saying good things about me, and then offered me a scholarship. It's almost like I didn't know what to say, what to think. I was just speechless, and my teammates came and hugged me and jumped around me, and honestly, by far one of the most memorable moments of my life, and honestly, my greatest accomplishment. I worked my butt off for that. I've never worked harder for anything. Physically, mentally, you have to go through so much just to get to that point, So I see guys like Chris Fink and Austin Webster that have truly earned their scholarships, and I mean, every one of these guys goes through the works to get where they are, and it's just an amazing feeling and an accomplishment that is truly earned. And I mean, I feel like at that point you're kind of like, no matter who it is, it's kind of like, oh, like finally.
Right.
But it was an amazing feeling and definitely one of the best moments of my life.
One of the things I really remember about that was afterwards they showed you calling your, I think it was your mom and dad, right? And just you could just tell that was a moment that your family had cherished and been looking forward to since you decided to go to South Bend and play for the Irish. So yeah, man, that was just such a cool moment, very inspiring. I've watched it several times since, and I just, I've mentioned this to you in person, but it really means a lot to see things like that and let people know that, obviously everybody knows about Rudy, but this is a real life success story, and having you be able to show that to so many and inspire so many is really a cool thing, man.
Oh yeah, and I love Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame football. I appreciate everything that they've done for me. Whether struggles and successes, everything has just transformed me into the person that I'm still transforming into. The person that I want to be in the future. Notre Dame's been crucial to my kind of teaching me about everything. I've had the opportunity to study abroad in South Africa, where I was, learning about the culture with Jalen Smith, and go to Ethiopia and live there for 2 months, just doing research, connecting University of Gondar in Ethiopia and University of Notre Dame, creating relationships that will save people's lives. It's been, I can't even, and that's just, a few of the things that Notre Dame's given me the opportunity to do, along with playing football and having, traveling across the U.S. to all these beautiful stadiums and I mean, from Fenway Park to Yankee Stadium to, all different types of NFL stadiums. My time at Notre Dame has been spectacular, and it's such a special place, special school. Just forever indebted to Notre Dame.
Awesome. Nate?
Did you have scholarship offers to any other schools?
So I did so I was a shot putter coming out of high school as well, and I had a great shot put coach in high school, Coach Garcia at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks, California, and I had scholarship offers for shot put. So I had one to the Naval Academy, and then I also had scholarships to UC San Diego and UC Santa Barbara, and I did have football scholarships to smaller schools. I mean, just about all the Division III schools call you, and the head coaches will call you and stuff, try to get you there. So I mean, I had many opportunities to, if I wanted to, play and be the star on a team at a smaller school, I could have done that. But I mean, once I got into Notre Dame, there was nothing in the world that could change my mind. Notre Dame was by far the only school I ever wanted to go to.
Yeah, I'm sure you, along with millions of other kids, I mean, realizing that dream and working so hard for it instead of taking the easy way out and going to a smaller school, that's such an awesome story.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of kids, I just want to tell all the kids out there, it's 100% possible. You know, when I was young growing up, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be on that TV screen, you know, playing football there. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to just get into the school, you know. But I mean, if you have the dream, you have the will, you can do it. Just believe in yourself and keep working.
Love that. Love it so much. Great message. So other than the scholarship moment, what was a standout moment for you during your time at Notre Dame on the field specifically?
Let me think about that for a second. On the field specifically, you know, I think I'll just say that my time at Notre Dame, you kind of create a family, you know. And I mean, I had a very special day yesterday just watching TV. I'm seeing all my brothers that I played with just having so much success, living their dream in the NFL, you know.
Yep.
And that's special. I mean, Matthias is out here making plays. Jalen, oh man, it was so sweet to just see Jalen get his opportunity.
Oh yeah.
To run out there on the field again. I mean, I feel like I'm celebrating with him out there. You know, it's like I feel successful for helping them live their dream. You know, I played at scout running back most of my career at Notre Dame, and you know, I don't know whether or not it's accurate, but I take credit for helping these guys develop into the players that they've become.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel really happy that I was able to help these guys get to their dream and, you know, be the people they want to be. And I mean, that's a special feeling as well, you know.
Absolutely.
I enjoy that. I think that's kind of another big thing, if you want to consider that on the field, that I enjoy.
Very cool. So this is kind of a loaded question, but what was it like playing for Coach Kelly? And, you know, as everyone knows, he's under a lot of scrutiny this year, supposedly on the quote-unquote hot seat. So I'd like to get your take. We'd like to get your take on what's it like to be a part of a Coach Kelly Notre Dame team?
You know, I really enjoyed playing for Coach Kelly. I think my personal opinion, I think he's a great coach. I think he does everything that's needed for the players, in all aspects of it. You know, every year he brings in amazing people to talk to us. He really tries to help us and give us the tools, like not just help us, but give us the tools necessary to be rounded, successful men at the University of Notre Dame. You know, he wants us to not just be football players, he wants us to be intelligent young men, you know, intelligent young men that will improve Notre Dame's campus as well as society in the future, to be successful, you know, when we're at Notre Dame and in the future. You know, football is temporary, and you know, Coach Kelly's been around coaching football for many years, so he understands that, and he just wants the best for us. And I think if you have that, you know, mindset as a coach, I think that's an amazing thing to have, you know. And then football-wise, he's just, I mean, it's like sometimes I feel like he can read the minds of these guys. You know, he's coached for so long. You know, and amazing in camp when you're at the point where you're kind of about to break. I mean, he'll give you a break right there. You know, I've always had the utmost respect for him, and I think he is a great coach, and I think he does a great job. And I mean, you know, that's just how I feel about him.
Well, I appreciate that sentiment. We had talked to Isaac Rochelle a few months ago and several other guys that recently played for Coach Kelly, and I hear the same thing over and over again, you know, and I know the fan base is thirsty and hungry for a win. We all are, obviously, as fans of Notre Dame. But you know what? You're not going to find a much better coach out there, in my opinion, than Coach Kelly. And I think that this year, I really, truly believe this is the year that everything comes together with the new coaching staff.
So. And I totally agree with that. I think, you know, a lot of people talk on the websites and stuff, whatever, but media. But Coach Kelly is a great coach. He's a great guy. He's there for you. He's there for his team. You know, he's a Notre Dame guy. He is. He'll do anything for the team, and I think that he's the man that'll get the job done. I do.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm excited to see it. Nate, when you want to ask this last one here, bud?
Now that your playing career is over, what are you up to, and what are your future plans?
All right, thank you. That's a good question. So actually, next week I'm doing a post-baccalaureate program. So basically, I plan on going to medical school in my future, and I'm doing a post-baccalaureate program. I did, playing football at Notre Dame and doing all the extracurriculars that I've done. I didn't have much time to get a lot of clinical experience working with doctors in hospitals. So this will, while taking a few extra science classes, I'll be able to get the clinical experience and shadowing kind of needed so that my med school application is as strong as possible. So I'm taking a few post-baccalaureate classes at a university called Charles Drew University in Los Angeles, California.
Very cool. So
it's a medical school.
Is that what you're are you gonna specialize in something? Or obviously you're looking in the medical field. What's your long-term ambition?
That's kind of changing day by day. This Ethiopia experience kind of shifted me one way, and I feel like I can't really make that decision until I, go through the rotations a few years down the road, and I kind of experience what it's, a day in the life. So I'm just going to wait till then to make that decision.
I hear you. Okay, that's fair. Leaving your options open. I get it.
Yeah, you got to leave them open. You never know what you're going to be good at.
That's right. All right, man. Well, hey, I know you're a busy guy and you're getting ready to head back to SoCal. Hopefully, me, you, and Tommy can get out on the link sometime, hit the ball around a little bit.
Of course.
But
definitely.
Really appreciate the time this morning, Josh, and thank you so much for what you're doing in the community and really overall in the world here. You're going to make this place better before you leave it, I can tell.
Thank you guys for having me. I
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you.
You got it, man. We'll talk to you soon. Go Irish and have a good day.
Talk to you soon. Go Irish.
All right. So that was an awesome interview with Josh Anderson. I highly encourage you. In fact, we're going to leave the video of when he got his scholarship, when that moment happened, for those of you who don't remember. Such a cool moment, such a cool kid. He really is going to be somebody that's going to make a difference. And Nate, I hope you picked up on his message. Dreams come true and you can make things happen. Rudy made it happen. Josh made it happen. Chris Fink, Austin Webster. Joe Schmidt, all these guys that probably never thought in a million years that they'd be playing in the house that Rockney built among some of these legends, but he did it, and he got to, his name's in the playbook and it's etched in history forever. Very, very cool interview there. You got anything, Nate?
It's just really cool that he had that opportunity. Got a scholarship right from Coach Kelly, and it was there with all of his family and his friends. He called his family after, so that was a really cool moment.
Awesome. I wanted to apologize. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty in terms of the feed and communicating with you guys, so I apologize if some of the questions got missed. I think we got it worked out now. We're going to be calling Bill. Tim. I was looking at Bill Hackett's name, Tim Grunhard, here in a minute, and want to encourage you guys to ask questions. We'll try to get to him as best we can. Want to respect his time and your time as well. But we're going to get Tim on the line here, 1988 national champion offensive lineman. Jeff, I'll do that for you. I'll get Josh on his info and we'll get him on for the figure.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Why don't you shoot him a text real quick, Nate?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep trying to get Tim Grunhard on the line. Hopefully he'll be able to give us a call. In the meantime, after this week's episode, we're going to be off for a few weeks just because on the first weekend in September, obviously game day weekend, we will all be in South Bend. So we are going to do some live stuff there from the stadium, hopefully from the game, things like that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that. Also, we're going to be switching the time of the show. I know a lot of people are going to church, so they might miss the live episode, and that's when we really like to do it, is so it can be live and communicate with you guys as we go through. So we're going to be switching the show to 11 a.m. Pacific. So it'll be 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Lynch, I know you have a difficult time trying to figure out what that is, so that'll be 1 o'clock your time, 2 o'clock South Bend. We're going to change the times up a little bit, try to get more participation, and go about it that way. While we're waiting for Tim to hopefully give us a call back, or we might give him a call, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines. If you guys want to call in and chat with us, maybe about the game, what's going on in South Bend. Hold on, okay, I'm waiting out of Brothers. Oh, he's walking out. Okay, Tim is walking out of Brothers in South Bend, so
wait on it.
we'll. Okay. So we'll do calls later on in the show. Our call-in number is 951-206-9403. We're going to take call-ins here in a little bit. I also wanted to give a shout-out to our...
Call-in.
Okay, so Tim wants us to call in 10 minutes. I want to give a shout-out to our sponsors and our partners. First of all, Legends and Goats. It's a new sports memorabilia website. You can check them out on Facebook. They have all kinds of great stuff. They're going to be going live here real soon. They're actually going to be providing us with some giveaways that will be using as prizes and things like that for the show. So really excited. Obviously, it'll be Notre Dame specific.
And also go to Sports Crack to get some new ND merch.
Yes, sir. Sports Crack, they have the officially licensed Play Like a Champion Today balls. I think he has a few left. I've been talking with Matt, so go check those out. Also want to give a huge shout out to Ben Belden with the Golden Domer Daily website. He also runs a podcast called Under the Dome.
Also has a YouTube.
Ben
which is where our last podcast was on.
Ben has been awesome helping us transfer the Facebook show onto YouTube. So we really want to give him a shout out. Thank you, Ben, for all you do. Check out their podcast, Under the Dome. They do a great job analyzing things. They had Digger Phelps on recently. And then their website, Golden Domer Daily. And then, like Nate mentioned, Sports Crack. They have some really cool shirts. I just got one of the Domers versus Dogs shirts. I'll be wearing that in South Bend the day after we beat Temple, just to get everybody fired up for the big UGA game. And then also our partners over at TNNDN, the new Notre Dame Nation. Check them out on Twitter and Facebook. Lynn and her crew do an incredible job as well, covering the games, some great shots from on the field. They are amazing people and really have a lot of the same values that we do, so we're excited to be partnering with them.
And I will reverse the curse. It won't be HSF because Notre Dame will win.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. Also want to give a big shout out to Jason Lynch, one of our longtime buddies and another member of the Dos Leprechauns admin team for our page. Lynch was kind enough to send me a very rare picture of New Rockme, and unfortunately you can't see it on the screen, but it's right above us here. He also sent some Respect 88 Debt of Honor gloves from the Navy Notre Dame game from a few years ago. So thank you again, Lynch, for that. Thanks to Dave for helping with the renovation here at Leprechaun Studios. We still have a ways to go to try to get rid of that echo amongst a few other things, but we're on our way. Sure. Bill Hackett just let us know Lisa Kelly will be signing books on campus. I believe that's the first or second week. Yeah, the second week. If you guys are in town too, I hope Bill doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but Bill Hackett, big-time friend of the program, big-time personal friend of mine, big inspiration to me, kicker from the 1988-1989 teams. He'll be on campus too, so I'd highly encourage you to try to catch up with Bill. Amazing man. I think you'd really get the Notre Dame spirit just from talking to him and getting his energy. He's an awesome guy. While we're waiting for Tim, if you guys want to call in, again, the number is 951-206-9403. Give us a call. We'll chat up a little bit before Bill comes on. You can talk about the upcoming season. Maybe if you're on campus right now, you want to talk about all the cool things happening on campus. Again, the number is what games you're going to. Anything you want to talk about, give us a call right now. We'll also have an opportunity at the end of the show, but we'll take some calls as we're waiting for Bill. I'm sorry, Tim. I keep saying Bill. Tim. There's our call-in number there, 951-206-9403. Still waiting on, you know what, why don't we, let's see.
You guys gonna watch SummerSlam today?
Yeah, I got a little wrestling going on today. We watched, I know Derek's watching, so we watched NXT TakeOver Brooklyn last night. SummerSlam tonight. Should be pretty fun. Let's see, who is that? And then also, again, if you guys haven't already subscribed to our page, check out Dos Leprechauns on Facebook, the actual page. We have some people on campus. I want to shout out to Jacob Singleton and George Bashura, who are on campus. They're going to try to get some live videos later on of the stadium. And also, as Rudy is being shown next Friday. Another shout out also to Amy Minnick. She sent us some pictures. She's an usher there at the stadium. She also works at the school. She's sent some pictures over of the campus and what's been going on so far.
Did you say something else?
Okay, we'll call him in just a minute. So we still got a phone line open, 206-9403-951 area code. Give us a call. What's on your mind? I know some of you guys had mentioned you were going to call in this time, so we're waiting to hear from you. Sean, anybody want to call in? We're trying to get this thing going live here and get this interaction with you guys so we can talk some Notre Dame football or anything else that's on your mind. Let's see. So if somebody's calling in, we can also ask, so what are your guys' thoughts? I listened to the Irish Illustrated breakdown of the Temple game, and it does sound, I think a lot of people are already pushing off Temple that they're going to be an easy win. They have some playmakers. Their receivers are big and athletic. I think our corners, we'll learn a lot about them, the secondary, and how they'll be able to perform throughout the season. So we'll see kind of what they're made up of. I think another one of their strengths is the O-line. The Temple O-line is pretty good and fairly big, so we'll see if the D-line's made the improvements that we've heard so much about camp. I think their weakness might be some of their other secondary. On Temple, I think Wimbush is going to have a chance to really come out and let people know what he's made of. So we'll see what happens. I definitely don't look at this as a shoe-in win. I don't think any win's a shoe-in. I mean, I was there when we lost to Duke, so I know that teams can come in and make some nightmares for us. So, but I'm really confident in this team this year. I really appreciate and think that they have a lot of. I think there's a different atmosphere and just kind of an overall good feeling about the team, and I think the team feels strong and feels ready to go. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the same thing. They're ready to go. They're ready to get out there. They're ready to maybe even carry us to another national championship. I mean, we have the tools. Now they just have to put them in place.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson's dad, Craig Nelson, who's another supporter of ours, he came up with a hashtag, and it says Team 12 with 3 shamrocks. And you'll probably see me hashtagging that a lot. It's because I like it. And he mentioned that a lot of people are putting Team 129, which says Team 129, but Team 12 is the 12 national championship team. So that's the moniker. That's what the team is believing in. So I really like that he came up with that.
Yeah, that's so true, Bill.
That's true. So Bill Hackett just said we don't have to be the best team in the country, just the best team in the stadium that day. That's absolutely right. Just gotta worry about Temple. People are already talking about the Georgia game. I'm like, man, we got to beat Temple first. It's going to be. They're not going to they're going to want to come out and have their big moment with everybody expecting all these great things. They're going to want to have their moment and upsetting the Irish. So we got to come out ready to go. Let's go ahead and give them a call again. We're going to try to get Grunhard back on the line here.
Hello.
Hi, good morning, Tim. This is Jason and Nate, the Dose Leprechauns.
Yeah, how you doing? Can I call you back in about 3 minutes? I'm just kind of driving through this traffic here in South Bend.
Yeah.
My condo here.
No problem. We'll be here.
All right. 2005 Arnold. So, yeah, I'll call you back in about 3 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Tim. All right, so it looks like Grunny is at South Bend, probably trying to navigate through the traffic. I've heard from a lot of people that are there that the traffic is out of control, so if you're coming out for the game against Temple, make sure you guys are allowing enough time to get there, because it sounds like traffic's going to be pretty nuts. Everybody's going to want to be there and see all the new Crossroads project activity. What's up, Sean? If you guys are listening in, we have a phone line open before Tim calls back, so give us a call if you want to talk about Notre Dame football, want to talk about anything you got going on, you like to promote. Who do you think the captains will be? Who is standing out as leaders this year? Robert, I think
your predictions on mine.
Yeah, Niles Morgan, I think, is a shoo-in to be a captain. I've heard a lot about Andrew Trombetti's leadership this year on the defensive side of the ball. Drew Tranquil, I think, is another guy. So I think you have 3 captains on the defense: Drew Tranquil, Andrew Trombetti, and Niles Morgan. On the offensive side of the ball, I've heard nothing but good things about the leadership of Brandon Wimbush. So I think that's kind of a given that you'd have your quarterback as your captain. I think a guy like Durham Smythe could also be a captain. He's kind of an unheralded leader of the offense. I know he has that respectful, professional way that he goes about his business. So I could see Durham being a captain. And then, of course, you got 2 guys on the O-line. Mike McGlinchey, who's just going to be a mauler this year. And, of course, Q-Dog, Quentin Nelson, who preseason All-American on SI, first team. McGlinchey was a second-team preseason All-American for Sports Illustrated. So, again, I think you got Quentin Nelson, Brandon Wimbush, and Mike McGlinchey on the offensive side of the ball. Niles Morgan, Drew Tranquil, and Andrew Trembetti on the defense side of the ball. And then for special teams, I think you'd have a guy like Austin Webster. I think you could even Justin Yoon maybe. A couple guys that could really stand out. I hear a lot of good things about Jameer Jones. He's a sophomore, Jerron Jones' brother. Jameer made a lot of great plays last year, seems to really have a good head about him. So maybe Jameer Jones as a sophomore could emerge as a leader on that special teams. What do you think, Nate?
I agree with everything except Wimbush. I feel like Josh Adams could get it. I mean, he's really standing out this year. It's his year to stand out, to show what he's made of, really. And I agree with everything else, so. Okay.
And then I think, you look at a guy like Drew Tranquil, he's had some injuries, he's had some troubles with tackling. I don't know if you guys have spent a lot of time watching some of the film from practice, but one thing I've really noticed that they are overemphasizing is the ability to tackle. A lot of these guys in their high schools could arm tackle or could rely on their athleticism, but when it comes down to it, you got to be able to tackle. And I've seen a ton of tackling drills going on. I've seen a ton of form tackling being taught, just some really good positive things, getting back to basics. Because in Elko's scheme, you have to be able to step up and make that play when called upon. And that's one of the most exciting things for me. Go ahead, Nate.
You also have to wrap up so they don't break away, because teams will be able to do that, because Georgia and even Michigan next year.
Okay, looks like Tim is giving us a call back. Go ahead, Nate. Hey, good morning, Tim. This is Dos Leprechauns. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for giving us a call. You're in South Bend. Did you go to the New and Gold festivities?
Yeah, we're going to pop over there. We have twins that are freshmen, and my freshman son's playing. He's on the team, and then my daughter also. So we went through the whole weekend of stuff. So yeah, we're going to go for a little while, and then we had to drive back to Kansas City. But yeah, we're going to go.
Okay. So what's the atmosphere? What's the buzz around campus right now?
Well, I mean, it's a new year. I think everybody's really excited. The team. I was talking to some of the coaches. It's a little bit different for them this year because there was really no two-a-days because of kind of the NCAA rules. So they started practice about 5 weeks. It'll be 5 weeks, I think, before the first game. So it's been a lot of kind of going against each other and a lot of time before the first game. So I think they're all anxious to get out there and play, and I think everybody really around campus and around South Bend is really anxious to see what this team's all about.
Sure. So, yeah, we had this question toward the end, but since you mentioned it, I kind of want to get right into it. Your son, is he a walk-on or did he get a scholarship?
No, he's a walk-on. He's a walk-on guy right now. So,
okay.
Yeah, he's, I was here all summer with the team and took some classes and worked out. And so, yeah, he's in the mix of it all.
Okay, and he's a center, correct?
He's a center, yep.
Okay, right. How's he? Does it look like he's going to be able to get in on special teams or anything, or do we have an outlook on that yet?
Yeah, right now they got him running as a third center, which
okay.
They lost a couple centers. For guys transferring, I think some kid from Florida, some kid from Idaho that transferred out. So he's really had a lot of chance to get some good reps. And Coach Kelly's made some comments that he likes his toughness and he's a smart player. So that was a positive for him. He's a long snapper like I was. I got on the field my freshman year basically from long snapping and short snapping for punts and field goals, and it's always a nice way to kind of get on the bus and hope that you get some time that way. But for him, it's really about the camaraderie and being a part of Notre Dame. He grew up coming here watching Notre Dame football games and really truly loves just the tradition and being a part of this group. So if he plays at all here in the next couple of years, that's great. But I think for him, it's really about coming here and getting a great education and being a part of hopefully a winning football team.
Absolutely. So we're talking to 1988 national champion offensive lineman Tim Grunhard. Tim, I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but I'd love to get a little insight from you on the much discussed captains versus convicts game. What were you doing during that melee that broke out before the game even started?
Well, it's funny. I had a really good friend who was on Miami by the name of Mike Sullivan, who was an offensive lineman, and we kind of found each other in the mix of that melee. And kind of got to the side a little bit because the last thing I wanted to do. I was coming off an injury. We played University of Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh the week before, so I was fighting to get back into the game, and so I had my ankle all taped up and had some issues that way. So the last thing I wanted to do was somebody fall on my ankle or something before the game started. So yeah, I was there. I was watching all the hubbub with my buddy from Miami. So it was an auspicious way to start the game. I love the story that Lou Holtz kind of told us when we got back in the locker room. He said, that's not the way that we conduct ourselves at Notre Dame. If any of you guys, have any cheap shots or get in any fights during the game or embarrass the university, we're gonna take your scholarship away, and that's not the way we're gonna do it. And I thought we went from a really, really high to almost kind of brought us back down to reality a little bit, and it was almost kind of a low in the locker room, and it's kind of we're wondering how he's going to get this team back up, because those guys were rocking and rolling, ready to go after that melee, and so he continued to talk a little bit about the way Notre Dame does it, and the way that he expects us to play, and then he started to get into the finish of the story, and he said, I have one thing I want to ask you guys, and there's one thing only. He says, at the end of the game, leave Jimmy Johnson's ass for me. And so at that point, we all looked at each other, and we were excited and fired up, ready to go. And, Lou, who was not only a great coach but a great psychologist, knew and understood that we weren't really in the right place, going into that game with that attitude of playing wrong and playing with fighting and cheap shots, all those kind of things, that we had to kind of refocus a little bit. And he was right. That wouldn't have won the game for us if we would have played kind of at that level that Miami wanted to play at. So, it was one of the more brilliant moves a head coach has ever done that I've been around, and kind of refocused, and got guys ready for the game in the right attitude.
So I have your former teammate Bill Hackett joining. He's joining us on the chat right here as well, and as well as Jason Lynch, who I think you met at Fantasy Camp a couple years ago, and they are insistent that you do Lou Holtz impersonation.
Well, one of the things that Lou used to say to me all the time is, Tim Grunhard, your accent just can't compete. We got to find somebody else who's right guard position. Your accent can't play football in Notre Dame. You can't play. You get your ass out. So he would say that to me all the time and pull me out for a play or two and stick me back in, because he knew that he'd get me rather, get all excited and motivated to go out there and play again. So he pushed my buttons quite a bit when I was there. So.
I was going to say, it sounds like you might have heard that a time or two, because that was a spot-on impression right there, man.
It's one of Lou's favorite things, what we tried to do, and I know Billy did, and we did as a team, is we guys talked about pride, and, having pride, and what is pride? He used to say, pride, guys, is personal responsibility and daily excellence. So, that's what we tried to do every day.
Love it. I might have to use that. All right, another question for you about the 1988 magical season is, at what point did you and your teammates kind of know that you had something special going? And where was that moment that it kind of clicked, like, man, we really could do something pretty amazing here?
Well, I think, we came into that off season and into the preseason of that team, and I think I was the only one that had experience on the offensive line. Andy Heck was moving from tight end to offensive line, so he didn't have a lot of experience at the offensive line position. So we really didn't know what we had up front, especially. We knew we had a good quarterback, and we knew we had some running backs and wide receivers who could go out there and make plays, but we weren't sure we had up front. And as that season progressed, the Michigan game, we struggled quite a bit. We a lot of field goals, and Reggie Ho basically won the game for us in that game. So I think basically when we got into the Michigan State game, and we started to be able to move the ball a little bit and do some good things offensively. And at that point, I felt like we had a good idea of what we had and how special we were. So it really wasn't the first game. As the season progressed, I think we kind of came together as a unit. And when the offensive line came together as a unit, the whole offense kind of gelled around it.
Definitely. Okay, good point. Nate, you have a question for Mr. Grunhard?
What was it like playing in the Pro Bowl as a member of the Chiefs?
That's a good question. It was great. It was, one of my goals, one of my bucket list things to be able to play in the Pro Bowl. And, I brought my youngest son and my youngest daughter. They came out, and it was great to be able to go out there and play with Peyton Manning and, Rich Gannon again and Mark Brunell at the quarterback, and, play with Cortez Kennedy, who was one of my favorite guys to play against. He was on my team. So it was exciting to go out there and play in the Pro Bowl. And, I wish I could have played a bunch more, but, I was able to squeeze in that time.
Awesome. So other than the 1988 championship, what was your favorite on or off the field moment while you were at Notre Dame?
Well, probably other than the national championship game, first of all, when Tim Brown won the Heisman Trophy my sophomore year, that was a big moment for the University of Notre Dame. Tim was a great guy, he's a great team guy, and one of the first things he said in his acceptance speech was that this is a team award. It's not just a Tim Brown award; it's a team award, and we all felt really honored, and it was a great pleasure to share that moment with him. So, the Tim Brown the moment, and then really the last drive that we had as an offense. We were playing against Colorado in the Orange Bowl, and I think there was about 11 minutes left in the game, and we ran the ball, I think something like 16 or 17 times in a row, and went and scored a touchdown and kind of iced that game against Colorado, who was number 1 at the time. We were number 3, and won that game. So those are probably my 2 favorite moments with Tim, and then being with that offensive line and grinding out a 17-18 play drive for a touchdown on the ground.
Nice.
What was your favorite stadium to play at, either in college or in the NFL, other than Notre Dame?
Well, when I was playing at Arrowhead, in Kansas City, it's like a college atmosphere. Everybody's dressed in red. It's very loud. It's from a lot of stadiums. So that was a great place to spend 11 years. But on the road, probably in college, going to Michigan, we were able to win both games. We went there. 107,000 people, just, walking in and seeing how huge it is, and the kind of the tradition of that stadium and of that program. That was probably my favorite place to play in the college game, other than here at ND.
That's fair. Okay. All right, last question. We always like to give everybody an opportunity to kind of talk about what they're doing now. Obviously, you're out there supporting your son as a member of the Irish football team, but what else do you have going on? Anything you'd like to plug? Any camps or anything like that? This is your opportunity to kind of let the viewers know what you've been up to since you left the pro game.
Well, yeah, thanks for doing that. The other thing I have is I have a daughter who's Colin's twin, who's a scholarship swimmer here at University of Notre Dame.
Oh, cool.
She's been in the Olympic trials and is a junior national champion. So it was exciting. I go to a lot of meets and watch her compete, and that's always a lot of excitement for me. And, right now I do radio on 810 WHB 4 days a week as a special guest during the football season, and do a show on Thursday nights for 810 Players Show. And then I coach. I was head coach at a high school called Bishop Meade High School for 6 years,
okay.
And then went on to KU with Charlie Weiss, and now I've been back over the last 4 years helping out over at Bishop Meade as the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, and just having a blast doing that. And so, just staying busy that way.
Very cool. So you said that it's on 810 WHB on Monday through Thursday. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday nights, and Fridays, and I'll do some pre and post game on Sundays. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm on 810 WHB. You could pick that up on podcasts, pick that up online. It's a lot of fun doing that with the guys. We'll definitely do that. Now, are you going to be on campus quite a few times this year, I'm assuming, for the games? Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to come out for the Temple game, first game of the year, and then we'll be out. We got a bunch of guys coming up from Lee's Lads at the Georgia game, so that'll be a fun game. And then I'm really good friends with the head coach of North Carolina State, Dave Doran. So I'll come up and watching that game and watching him compete against the Irish, and I'm sure we'll mix in some games with Miami of Ohio. So we're up for about 4 or 5 games, and enjoying that. And then, of course, we'll be up for a bunch of swim meets as the winter comes along. Sure. Very cool. Yeah, one of our good friends, Troy Keenan, they went out there and got to view the swimming facilities, too. They're a big aquatic family out here, so they were very impressed. So good luck to your daughter as well.
So,
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you're a busy guy. I'll be at the Temple game out there from Southern California this year. So, looking forward to the home opener. Hopefully, can run into you out there. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Have a good time and go Irish.
All right, thanks, guys. Pleasure talking to you, and that's exactly right. Go Irish.
Thank you very much. Take care. Cool. All right, so Tim Grunhard gave us a really cool impression of Lou Holtz. That was pretty awesome. Great calling right there. I didn't see that, Lynch. That would have been a good question. I didn't know if Jafar went to the same school he was coaching at. That's good to know. Okay, we have a couple of minutes left before we're going to be signing off, so we'll keep the phone line open if you want to call in. It's 951-206-9403 is our call-in number. We'll take a few calls before we go off. Just a reminder again, our next show will be Sunday, September 10th, as we will be in South Bend for the Temple game on September the 3rd, or is it the 2nd? Whatever date it is. 13 days from now, when we're in Temple, we won't be there that next Sunday. September 3rd would be the next podcast. So September 10th will be the next time we're on live. It'll be 11 a.m. Pacific, our new start time, 2 p.m. Eastern, for those of you that are time challenged like Jason Lynch. We want to thank everybody for joining us. We are going to be doing a good friend of ours, a good friend of the show. He's in the Army. He is actually in Afghanistan right now, and it looks like as we were doing the show, he just messaged me that they will be stationed out there a little bit longer. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a fundraiser for them in the next show. So we'll get some information out about that. All right, we got a call in. This is Dos Leprechauns. Who is this?
Sean Hagan.
Hey, what's up, Sean? How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, buddy? I'm doing good.
Good, man. So I think I know why you're calling, but Sean, why don't you give us a little shout out for what you have coming up?
Yeah, we'll give you a call up, shout out again. This week, the 26th, my youth group, Pursuit Youth Ministries, is doing a free anti-bullying concert. If you're in the southern Indiana area, it's at Garvin Park in Evansville, Indiana. And we're just trying to raise awareness against bullying as the school year starts, get these kids off on the right footstep.
So important right now, especially with everything going on in the country and around the world. It's so important to really start keeping that message really in the forefront of what we talk about in the schools, not just what they're learning, but learning how to be better people. So I really applaud you for doing that, Sean.
I appreciate that. I also want to talk about Jalen Smith's game last night.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Man, I was super excited when I got to see that swipe on that 4th and 6 where he stuffed the pass. Man, that was awesome.
He just looks fired up and ready to go, man.
Yeah, they gave him a lot of reps last night, which was really cool. I know they were kind of working starters in and out, but man, he played quite a bit, and I was excited to see that too.
He did, and if you notice, the first 4 or 5 plays, they stayed completely away from him. They were running sweeps off to the right. They're running some quick outs to the right. They were staying far away from the big man in the middle, that bad man number 54.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even the tackle he got on that 4th down play, or 3rd down play, forced 4th down, that probably shouldn't even been his tackle, but he's just that quick and explosive that he's able to make that play.
I've been a Notre Dame fan for almost 30 years, and I think there's been a couple of recent injuries that have happened, and I think it's just the fact that the cameras are so much better that you see it so much up and close. But, the Drew Tranquil injury against Georgia Tech a few years ago was terrifying. But, man, when Jalen got hurt, we happened to be there at the Fiesta Bowl that year. When he got hurt, man, that was one of the most devastating things I've ever seen as a fan.
Yeah, that was a terrible, terrible thing, and I was kind of disappointed last night. I was hoping they'd do a little video clip or something, kind of highlight his comeback, but maybe they'll save that for the regular season because it's an amazing story. He's worked very hard, and everything I've read out of Cowboys camp is that they're super impressed with his work ethic and ability.
They absolutely love him out there, and the Cowboy fans are very lucky to have a guy like Jalen. He'll probably be there for quite a while, and I think he'll be the next great Dallas Cowboy linebacker, to be honest.
So I'm a 20-year New York Jets fan, and I finally got tired of all the garbage going on in their front office, so I decided I was switching teams this year, and I'm going with Jalen and the Cowboys. So I think him and Lee are going to be an amazing combo in the middle.
I will never pick a pro team just because I can never go against any of my Irish guys, but I definitely represent some of the Notre Dame players that have made it to the pro ranks with jerseys, and I wear that Jalen jersey with pride. I wore it at my draft yesterday, so yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, I saw that jersey, man. It's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
I want to get the color rush. I'm excited about getting one of those.
There you go, man. Hey, Sean, do us a favor. Leave the information for your anti-bullying event that you're going to have on the feed here so we can share that once we share the video and everything, please.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. All right, well, hey, thanks for the call in. We will chat with you soon, man. Have a good day.
All right, bud.
Go Irish. Later. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here again. Just a reminder, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, September 10th is our next show. At that time, we will recap the first 2 games, Temple and Georgia. We're going to be trying to get Eric Hansen from Irish Illustrated on to talk a little bit more in detail about the team. We'll have another couple of guests, call-in guests. We've got a few guys we're working on. Rocket, Ishmael, if you're still watching, we got to get you on, man. Got to get Rocket on. Bill Hackett's been working hard to try to get him on, and we got to get Rocket on. It's my all-time favorite. So I'm hoping one day we'll have Rocket on for an interview and let everybody know that. Last couple things here. The first one is we're going to be running a weekly NFL Pick'em. If you're interested in joining that, please send me a private message on Facebook, and we'll get you the details. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of Notre Dame fans will be participating in that, so the more the merrier. So if you're interested, shoot me a message, and we'll get it on. I also want to congratulate our winner of our Dos Leprechauns prize pack. You're eligible by sharing, liking, and commenting on the Facebook video, the Facebook Live video, or the YouTube video that we're going to be posting. The winner this week is Debbie Baldry, and it's really awesome that she won because her husband's going through a very difficult time. We want to keep him in our prayers. We're always thinking of you, Roger. Debbie, if you're hearing this, please message us your address, and we'll send your prize pack out this week. And again, continued prayers for Roger. And again, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern is our next show on September 10th. Give you guys a chance to worship and do what you need to do on Sundays, and hopefully be able to join the show.
And for YouTube, you have to do more because you have to subscribe, you have to share, you have to like, and you have to comment on the YouTube video.
So we do have our YouTube channel, thanks to Ben Belden of Golden Domer Daily. We'll have our shows on there as well, so you're able to look at it on that feature as well, and as well as iTunes. So with that being said, we will catch up with you guys in a few weeks. 13 days till Notre Dame football. Hope everybody has a great day. If you are on campus for the New and Gold festivities, or if you go to the Rudy game, please send us some pictures, maybe some videos. We'd love to see those and get them posted on our page. But with that being said, we want to thank you guys for the support. Continue to like and share and comment on the participation is what makes it special. Again, we're going to have another prize pack for those that share the video and like and comment the video. We'll be announcing that on the 10th, and I believe that's all. Message me if you want to get involved in the Pick'em. Everybody have a great week, and go Irish.
Sub to our trooper.